A reaction from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle continues after Arizona's Supreme Court decision outlawing nearly all abortions using a 160-year-old Civil War-era abortion law. The state measure may now be used as a national election year weapon against pro-lifers. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales has more. Erik?
Well, good evening, Tracy. Right now, enforcement of the law is on hold for 14 days while a lower trial court sorts out questions about the law's constitutionality. But that's not stopping President Biden and Democrats from taking aim at former President Donald Trump, claiming he is responsible for Arizona's abortion ban from 1864.
Devastating for women in Arizona. Women in Arizona deserve to make their own decision about an abortion. And that ended with this ruling. And that's because of former President Donald Trump.
Arizona Supreme Court ruling outlaws abortion from the time of conception except to save the life of the mother and punishes providers 2 to 5 years in prison. Democrats find the ruling harmful.
Do we going to stand for reproductive freedom for America's women, or do we want to go back 52 years and resort women to have to go to dangerous medical procedures?
Earlier this week, former President Donald Trump outlined his abortion stance, saying it should be left up to the states to decide. Republicans say now is the time to protect life.
We've got to do everything we can to explain the Democrats' position of abortion up until the moment of birth is barbaric, where you crush a baby's skull or you let a baby, put him in the corner and let him cry itself to death. So the Arizona legislature needs to make sure that there's a reasonable limitation and we respect women.
But even some Arizonan Republicans disagree with the decision. Congressman David Schweikert wrote on X, quote, "This issue should be decided by Arizonans, not legislated from the bench." This November, 14 states will have some sort of abortion legislation on the ballot, including Arizona.
There's an effort to put this on the ballot. It looks like it will have the signatures. My biggest concern is, what this does for women between now and then.
The Supreme Court rendered a ruling that is going to be highly controversial, and it's going to generate huge turnout in November in Arizona.
The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops continue to say that abortion could never be a fundamental right. The Pope's latest document, Dignity for Life, reinforces long-held Catholic teachings that abortions are, in fact, the direct killings of human beings in the initial phase of life. Tracy?
Well, Erik, I'm going to switch gears here. I understand the U.S. House was trying to pass the reauthorization for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which is set to expire on April 19th, but it failed to pass. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, it sure did. It was another embarrassing day for Speaker Mike Johnson and the Republican leadership. The GOP had planned to pass this and then headed over to the Senate before the April 19th deadline, but that is not going to happen. 19 Republicans ended up joining Democrats to fight against this, and this is the seventh time, the seventh rule that has not been able to be passed in the Republican-controlled House. So Speaker Johnson does promise to bring a clean FISA-only bill to the floor next week, but there's no guarantee that that will in fact pass. At the Capitol, Erik Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.